Hey, family. Welcome again to Torah Talks. This is going to be another broadcast by Naturally Torah. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe, like, and share. Today's broadcast is going to be about the child welfare system and how disproportionately Black families are targeted in regards to um, removing children from the home. So the welfare system has always disproportionately targeted Black folks. The CPS is the modern day slave catcher for Black babies, unfortunately. So many years ago to present, articles and media always spin this continuous lie that Black folks don't apply to be foster parents or adopt Black babies, when in fact they target us by disproportionately blocking us from fostering and adopting our own Black babies. White males, male on male, two females, single white individuals can easily adopt or foster Black babies with little pushback. So, I'm going to be showing some videos about just what happens to Black families on a regular basis when it comes to the child welfare system, and just go over some articles in regards to adopting Black babies. And also, I'm going to read something from some white people saying their reasoning for why they adopt Black babies. So, the media and folks from the dominant society like to say Black folks don't take care of their children because more Black children are in foster care. This is not true. Yes, a lot of Black children are in foster care, but it's because we are disproportionately targeted for our children to be removed and then put in a system. This system is designed to separate Black families and make white people look like they are the savior to Black children when they are um, fostering and adopting these Black children. So, yeah, Black people, I mean, just like any other race where you have your degenerate behavior and bad parents, but at the end of the day, is disproportionately this way by design in regards to Black babies. And that's why I will call it the modern day slave catching for Black babies, because this is just something that's been going on for a long time with CPS and, So we're going to get into a story, and I'm sorry, guys, I was on mute. We're going to get into a story about how the child welfare system handles Black parents, and I mean, this is constant. Black people have been dealing with CPS and removal of our children for little to nothing, and if they're not getting us, they're getting our children, whether medically, uh, education wise, every corner of life. This is what it's like to be a Black person in America. So I just want to go over a story and how CPS, how they handle Black families all the time. So before I do go into that, I just share that with you guys. Okay.
we're currently detained by the Sheriff's Department. We're surrounded right now by Manatee County Sheriff's Department, and that's our current situation. And they are wanting us to turn over our newborn. I know we fighting to bring Ra home. Now they're wanting to take our newborn. They're not listening. There's no point.
So wrong, Sarah. How could
You don't
guys
feel
do
nothing?
this? Do you not feel anything?
Let's put the baby in the
You guys,
chair.
I'm human. This is
I
my baby.
understand
My
that.
baby is days old. And you're taking my baby away from me. You're taking my baby away from me. You have no heart. This is so wrong.
Just give us a second. Can you give us a second?
Don't make it seem like I'm
it's not-
crazy, okay?
Yeah, we support. This is normal.
I know you have children.
Sarah,
This is my baby.
you may not have babies, but
I carried my baby for 9
This is-
months.
understand that.
this is normal.
You don't care.
Yes, I did put the baby.
You don't care.
Which,
Would you like to put the
You
baby
could
in the
have
car
talked.
seat?
No, I don't. I want my baby.
We have to put the baby.
My baby is healthy and happy.
Okay, put the
My baby is breastfeeding from me. What are you gonna give my baby?
Please put the baby in the car seat.
can you just give us a second? We gonna cooperate, but don't be a human before anything. We know you're doing your job, but you have some empathy.
Oh my God.
Y'all done took our son. Now you taking our daughter.
Please put the baby.
You understand that, right?
Please put the baby.
It'd be something wrong with us if we didn't respond.
My baby. Oh my God. I have to hold it together, right? I'll hold it together. I'm strong.
Y'all know what y'all doing wrong. It's your job, but it's still wrong morally and ethically. That's our attorney. Ma'am, that's our
My baby,
attorney.
you're traumatizing my baby. My baby's gonna cry. I don't even want my baby
You have
out
the
like
bag?
this.
I do.
Can I see it, the pacifier?
All you had to do was call the attorney. We have all the paperwork. You guys have created so much trauma. You just expect me to just come outside and be like, "Hi guys, you're my friends."
Have
You're not my
Have
friends.
you all put this much energy into a family that has no
This is
criminal background?
unnecessary.
She in?
You know how much I've done for this county? I have the key to this city. I have the key to this city and Sarasota. I've done nothing
In
but
the
help
top,
this county.
in this-
Manatee Sheriff
Yeah,
County
it's a
Office.
pacifier.
I did an anti-bullying program for you guys.
Here.
You guys, can I sit
Sarah,
with my
is this your
baby and
car?
go with you?
No, man.
I'm
you
not a
can't.
danger. I'm not a danger to my baby. You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Just call me when you guys are done at the hospital and I'll let you know about
The blanket, the blanket.
Family, this has not happened to white families at all. This has not happened to white women at all. I don't care what they say or try to tell you. This has not happened to them. Um, the main reason they took her baby because she didn't report that she had the baby, because more black families are wanting to go to doulas and have their babies not in a hospital setting because of things like this, because this is what Black people deal with. And I'm going to show you why people are going with doulas, and just to further educate the people in the back that try to act like Black people do not go through trauma. This is constant. So let's go.
Can you talk? Do you want to talk to me? Because I'm leaving with my baby. I'm not crazy for. I'm leaving with my baby. I'm leaving with my baby Cooper. I'm talking right here. This is what I'm talking. So look, what y'all want to talk about? What do y'all want to talk about? The baby's not staying here. Look, let me tell you something. The baby does not have any drugs in his system. Does he? Does he? Does he?
Miss Sellers was absolutely correct. According to the hospital documents and court paperwork, the baby's system and Miss Sellers' system were completely negative of any foreign substances.
One time. What? You're gonna hurt my baby? You let go. You're gonna hurt my baby? You let go. Don't do that. You let go. Hey, don't do that to me. Let go. Let go of me. Please. No. You guys, I have my phone alone. You guys cannot do this to me. I know, but you guys are trying to take my baby. Please let go of me. Please. I will cut the backpack if you don't let go of your arm. No, please. Let go of your arm. I'll cut it. Please, let go.
Now remember, there were no warrants, there was no criminal act. The hospital staff, the police all escalated the situation. And in this case, Miss Sellers has every right to be heard.
You guys, please let go of me. I got it, Cooper. Oh my God. I got it. Please let go of me. I can't see the cuff. Go ahead and get the other cuff, and then we can. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. I got it, Cooper. Oh my God. I got it. Please let go of me. I can't see
The hospital staff member is choking Miss Sellers around the neck. The other ones are helping pin her against the wall while the police are putting cuffs on her when no crime has been committed.
Cuff. Go ahead and get the other cuff, and then we can. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. Let go of your hand, or you're going to get resisting as well. I have the back of my head. That's why I can't let it go. What are you doing? The hand I'm on. Got it. Okay, now listen. Hold on. Wait. Listen. Where's my shoe at? Can I have it? You need to come talk to me because look what you just did. What are you trying to take my baby for? No, you did not try to. You don't know. Because I'm so upset. They kidnapped my baby. Please. You don't understand what's going on. But you have to give me a chance to explain to you the situation that's going on.
Just like Bad Apple Police, your reputation precedes you. When CPS shows up to a joyful event such as a birthing, it's never a good thing. And with the confrontation that she had with Nurse Laura Pennington earlier, and the staff members making her feel uncomfortable by acting like Karens, can you blame Miss Sellers for wanting to get out of the hospital and leave as soon as possible?
But you know, this way. I don't want to. I don't want to go. Here we go. Don't. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where we going? Why did you guys do that to me? Why are you both at nothing? 3 4 10 4. You guys need to bring my baby. Can you let me sit? Don't talk to me. Sit. Don't talk to me like that. You know, do you like fat people? Don't talk to me like that, Mr. Shirt. Whatever your name is, I have not done nothing. Don't. I don't want you in my room. Can you get out? No. Mr. Cooper. Can you get him out of my room, please? I am. No, I'm calm. Kimberly, I'm calm. Sorry, no, I'm calm. Listen, I'm calm. We have a supervisor coming
And
up.
this is
But I
what they
do
do to
know
black
that Miss
people.
Sellers
They
did
put
not
us under
request a
these stressful
supervisor. The
situations and
police
tell us to
actually
stay calm.
requested their own supervisor because they
They don't do
realized
this to white women.
something
White
wasn't
women
right.
do
Miss
not
Sellers still got
ever
charged with
have to go
disorderly
through this.
conduct,
And this is why
which
we don't want to
more
have
than
our
likely, from
babies
my
near
paralegal
hospitals.
view, would probably be dropped.
So they're gonna really try to help out on that. Okay, can you get church out of my room? Well, that's gonna be a supervisor. 312B, that's affirmative. I was working, whenever you said you couldn't breathe, I was trying to get that backpack off.
This woman just had a
Let me
baby.
tell you something. This is not right. I need something to drink. Can you drink some water, please? The water.
She's handcuffed. She's done nothing wrong. They literally just kidnapped this woman's baby.
Y'all need to bring my
It
baby
does
in the
not
room.
happen to white women.
Stop, please, and thank you. She is covered warm, right? Right now she's detained, so I'm gonna wait till the supervisor wants to do it. I'm detained. Yes, ma'am. Why am I detained? Because you're being disorderly.
A person is guilty of disorderly conduct
Being
in the first degree
disorderly
when
because
he
you're
or
trying to
she,
kidnap my
in the
child.
public place and with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or want only creating a risk thereof, engages in fighting or in violence, tormentorous or threatening behavior, making unreasonable noise, or creates a hazardous or physical offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose and acts in a way described in the paragraph A that is subsection within 300 feet of a, and this is where they talk about a cemetery or a funeral home when grieving. Considering Ms. Sellers had no warrants and there was no probable cause, just the word of a Karen. Um, Hopefully, this judge, Kathy Stein, that she has coming up, will see for what it is, this blatant lie and this use of the police as a Karen tactic. And hopefully, charges are pressed against the hospital, the police force, and anybody else that was involved, including Judge Libby Messer, who had to recuse herself after she denied Miss Sellers the dismissal of this whole fiasco. We could have saved ourselves a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of exposure, all this kind of stuff. But these people want to keep hiding. For all you guys that are out there freelancing and exposing people and
Okay. Thanks, guys. So, I'm just trying not to be infuriated, but this is what black women go through in the hospitals. Right along with a medical apartheid. If they're not killing our babies because our black babies are less likely to survive, and it's not because we're not making healthy babies, because we make healthy babies. It's because you're killing our babies. So if they're not killing them, then they're taking them and kidnapping them. Because if you ask me, that was straight up kidnapping. So I'm gonna go and share another video. Give me one moment.
Disowning her and they're probably using her as a slave like they were back in the day. So yes, the sheriffs are on the way. I called the cops because yes, I'm a Catholic ass person and I'm not about to watch this go by. That is very rude and very disgusting of these people. And yes, are disowning her and they're probably using her as a slave.
I'm sure you guys remember that. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that video. So they have no problem. Um, I'm sorry, they have no problem allowing everyone else except Black people to adopt or foster our own Black babies, but this is what happens when our children are being fostered by other ethnic groups. So let's see here. I'm gonna go over something in regards to how CPS disproportionately removes Black children from the home. So, and this is just done often.
A report from the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services shows that Black children are disproportionately taken into CPS custody more often than kids of other races. Fox 26's Donnelly Keith joining us live now, looking into that and what's being done about it.
Well, many advocates say not enough is being done, and they say the problem of African American children overwhelmingly being taken away from their parents and placed in CPS care has happened for far too long and for more than 60 years. The home video and pictures of the Birch family show smiling, happy faces. What you don't see is the 8-month battle Reniqua Birch endured as she fought to get her kids back out of CPS custody.
I was working to pay legal fees. I emptied out my savings.
Birch is actually a social worker. 3 of her kids are adopted. The 4 youngest were taken by CPS in
This is what they
2018
do.
as she was
They
going
kidnap
through a
our
divorce.
children.
And 3 weeks into a summer day camp, someone reported her to CPS.
The 4-year-old, she said he had a bruise on his back and it was like yellow, and it was close to his bottom. And as she was describing it, I said, "Are you talking about his birthmark?" She was.
In fact, she says everything the CPS worker pointed out, such as the ringworm her son was being treated for, had a simple explanation. She believes her kids were taken because of the color of her skin.
If I was a white mom that had adopted kids, especially Black kids,
That's right.
I think
That's right. White women
that
never go through this, and they're
unfortunately
able to adopt
Black
and
families
foster our
are
Black
given a
children, and no one
presumption of
says
fitness,
anything
where I
to
don't
them.
think that we see the same, especially with the African American families that we serve.
It's not a surprise at all.
Alan Detlef is the dean of the Graduate College of Social Work at University of Houston and a former CPS worker.
There was a study that I was involved in the mid-2000s when the state was mandated to look at disproportionality that showed that Black children in Texas were 77% more likely than white children to be removed from their homes in lieu of receiving services in the home.
Also, African American children are less likely to be allowed to stay with family members.
Relatives are barred either because of over policing in the community, so they have criminal history.
Travis County State District Court Judge Aurora Martinez Jones points to 2 cases she had where 2 women were arrested in different traffic stops for drug possession. The police officer allowed the white mom to call her mother to pick up her child, but the Black mom wasn't given the same chance, and her child was taken away by CPS.
Much of the public has become aware of the harm and the trauma that parents and children experience when children are separated from parents at the border. That same harm and trauma occurs when children are separated from their parents by child protection agencies.
It doesn't make sense that the system that's supposed to be there to help support and protect children is causing additional trauma to children.
Now, CPS says overrepresentation of minorities in a system is found across many systems, including child welfare, education, juvenile justice, criminal justice, and healthcare. This is true nationally and in Texas, the statement says. Statistics show those who report allegations of abuse and neglect are more likely to make reports regarding African American children, and minority children are more likely to be removed from their families. DFPS is committed to partnering with representatives across systems and communities to listen and address issues of disproportionality in CPS, is what the statement says. And again, it took Reniqua Birch about 8 months to get her kids back from CPS custody. The Houston nonprofit Foster Care Advocacy Center, which offers free services, says that any family who has a CPS investigation against them should contact their group immediately when that investigation starts, because they say once the child is removed, the family only has about a 1 in 5 chance of getting their kiddo back. And we do have information for that group on our website. This is certainly a topic we will continue to follow. Reporting live, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
I mean, and family, it's insane to me because here you are with so here they're saying that if you have your child removed from the home, the likelihood of you getting them back is, 0 to none almost. Why is that? Meanwhile, they're pushing all types of agendas on our children out here, and you have families doing the best that they can to take care of their kid, and little or nothing. You seen a birthmark. They look for anything when it comes to a black family. And a lot of times it's just someone, either a neighbor, a co-worker, anonymously calling, making false accusations. And the likelihood of a black child being taken off a false accusation is high. They do not do this to white women. But what they do is take our babies and they put our babies in other ethnic groups. They'll take black babies and put them in homes with parents that don't even speak English. I know this to be a fact because it's happened to a family member. The foster mom didn't even speak English, and they refuse. They will go around the go-go not to put a black child with their family and put them with a white family or another ethnic group. So I want to go over some things with you guys. Give me one moment.
Of their foster child in Uganda.
We're gonna go over why are white people able to continuously adopt black children, and this is what they do when they get the opportunity to, but they won't allow us to foster or adopt our own children.
Uganda.
Let's go back.
I'm just going to read this story and I have no comment. U.S. couple charged with torture of their foster child in Uganda. Ugandan authorities have charged 2 U.S. foster parents with committing aggravated torture against their 10-year-old son. The charges allege that the couple, both 32, constantly tortured the boy between 2020 and 2022, with neighbors sounding the alarm for the child, who attended a school for children with special needs in Kampala. When police raided the house, they found CCTV evidence showing that the child was forced to squat in an awkward position, served only cold food, and made to sleep on a wooden platform without a mattress or bedding. When police raided the house, they found CCTV evidence showing that the child was forced to squat in an awkward position, served only cold food, and made to sleep on a wooden platform without a mattress or bedding. The boy was one of 3 children fostered by the couple, who arrived in the East African country in 2017 to volunteer at a US-based nonprofit. International adoptions have sparked controversy in Uganda. In 2020, the US government filed criminal charges and imposed economic sanctions against a US-based adoption ring that placed Ugandan children who weren't orphans with families in the United States. This article had some additional information. Our team of investigators established that the couple kept the victim barefoot and naked throughout the day, and would occasionally make him squat in an awkward position with his head facing the floor and hands spread out widely. He spent his nights on a wooden platform without a mattress or beddings and was served cold meals from the fridge.
I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but this is what happens when other ethnic groups and white people are allowed to foster and adopt our children, and we're not able to foster or adopt our own children. So I'm going to go into and read something here, and it talks about why white people like to adopt and foster Black children. So let's get into that. Okay. So 6 words: Black babies cost less to adopt. What type of nonsense is that? So it says the NPR continues a series of conversations about the Race Card Project, where thousands of people have submitted their thoughts on race and cultural identity in 6 words. Every so often, NPR host special correspondent Michelle Norris will dip into those 6 word stories to explore issues surrounding race and cultural identity for Morning Edition. You can find hundreds of 6 word submissions and submit your own. So it says, uh, my apologies, guys. So it says Americans adopt thousands of children each year, and as the nation has become increasingly diverse and with the growth of international adoption in recent decades, many of those children don't look like their adoptive parents. That intersection of race and adoption has prompted many people to submit their 6 words to the race card project, including the submissions from a Louisiana woman: Black babies cost less to adopt. I'm not going to read anymore, but that is some of the things that white people say, and the reason why they adopt Black children. Could be for some of them. I don't believe it for a lot of them, because um, a lot of our Black children that wind up in these homes wind up being abused, even worse off than the so-called situation that they took them from. Abused, or even uh, not living anymore, deleted. There's been several cases where social workers haven't been checking on these children that's been taken out of the home, and they've been dead, especially in New York. They've been deceased for over a year, and the social workers didn't even know about it. So that's something. I don't know if that's a white thing, or that, Black babies cost less, and that's the reason why you want to adopt them. But again, we know there's a story behind that. So I'm just going to go into some articles about how disproportionately we are targeted. And like the woman said, on one of the videos, about how they heavily police Black communities. So then um, when they go to the Black families to try to get them approved to be able to take the child in, then it's something. They find something, whether it's an old traffic ticket, they find something to make the Black families jump circus hoops for, to wind up telling them no, because they know that they're not going to give them, most likely, to the Black family in the first place. They rather take that child and traumatize that child away from that child's family and put them with another ethnic group or a white family. So I don't agree with that. I believe that Black families should foster Black children, and Black families should be able to adopt Black children. Black children should be with Black families, and that's just my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and share an article. Okay, this talks about how the foster care system disproportionately affects Black children. And it's just saying that Black children make up almost 14% of the population of children in the United States, but 23% of those in foster care family. It is not because Black people are not taking care of their children. You've seen just a couple of videos, and I don't want to traumatize people, but just a couple of videos of how Black parents are treated when it comes to their children. Black children are twice as likely to enter the foster care system as white children and remain in the system about 9 months or longer because they make Black families, family members that may want to get those children, they make them jump circus hoops to the point either the family give up or they just tell the family no and send the child to another ethnic group or somewhere else where they wind up being worse off there. So it says that as of September 2020, more than 400,000 children were in the foster care system in the United States. While there are children of all races in the system, a disproportionate number of these children are Black. In 2020, Black children accounted for almost 14% of children in the nation, yet made up 23% of kids in the child welfare system. To put those numbers in context, white children made up 50% of the population of kids during the same time period, but only 43% of the children in foster care. Hispanic children accounted for 22% of the kids in foster care, but comprised of 26% of children in the nation. Comparatively, Black children are overrepresented in the foster care system. That problem is compounded by the fact that agencies may have difficulty placing Black children with foster families who look like them, which is a lie. They like to spin that lie and say that Black families don't want to take in Black children. That's the reason why so many Black children in foster care. No, you target Black families, you remove them. That's why the percentage is so high. And then when Black families are wanting to come in and take in family members, you decline them or you make it almost impossible for them to do so. So that's why Black children are overrepresented in the foster care system. That problem is compounded again by the fact that agencies may have difficulty placing Black children in foster families who look like them. When a long-term solution like adoption comes into play, the problem still exists. That is a lie also, and we're going to go over that as well. They block Black people out of adopting as well. So, um, it says here the child welfare system, they often don't have enough families who are willing to adopt. They don't have enough families who are willing to adopt the children who are actually available for adoption. No. So when they say available for adoption, yeah, they want to give Black people here, you take care of these white children or these Spanish children, but you're not going to have these Black children. Black families could barely adopt their own. So when they're saying who are actually available, meaning Black families don't want to adopt who they want us to adopt. They want us to adopt other ethnic groups, but not our own. So it says while families of other races do successfully adopt Black children, they face challenges relating to and helping their child navigate the experience of being Black in the United States. No, that's when they're adopted by other ethnic groups, and that's why Black children should stay with Black parents. It says white or other race adoptive foster parents can't teach their adoptive foster children the Black experience the same way as or as well as a Black parent could. So sure, they can read books or blogs and get by well enough by they won't ever be able to teach or relate to the Black experience as well as someone who lived it. Experts say giving Black children the opportunity to be a part of a family that looks like them is an important part of their experience. Without those options available, they remain in the child welfare system in large numbers. And it's just important, period. You can go on IG and you're online and you just see these children that were either they have a white parent or they were adopted or fostered by a white parent, and they talk about the traumas of not knowing who they were growing up and seeing everyone else around them different and being with someone that can't even relate or explain to them who they are or don't even care to anyway. And you just see these children talk about these horrible experiences of going over to family members' homes that didn't like black children and just wasn't going to accept them, and just still, being around a family that still used derogatory terms in regards to black people as if it was okay. So a lot of black children have suffered a lot of I want to say discrimination being in a home with a white family, whether it's an adoptive home or foster home. So I just wanted to just read a little bit of that. And then they say, cause of the disproportion. There is no one factor that leads to greater numbers of Black children being a part of the foster care system. Experts say both environmental and societal issues impact the numbers. No, no. No, the only societal issue is them kidnapping our babies. Now, I'm not saying that all these black families are the best parents and they're not doing anything that should or may cause them to be removed, but they will work with a white family, send them to, child parents classes, whatever they need to do. They will allow parents that are on drugs, if they're white, to go through a drug class and still keep their children, but any little thing to remove a black child from their black parents. So this is not about anything else except this is how the system was designed. So black children have been historically overrepresented in the foster care system. Statistically, about 70% of the children who enter the foster care enter care because of neglect, which is poverty related. No, no, I don't know who this Kimberly Orford Ed is, but no, no, no. A lot of times it is not because of neglect or poverty. They targeted that parent for whatever it is. Kids get hurt in the home. A kid could fall and get hurt. A lot of times the kid will tell them. They assign attorneys for children, advocates for children, social workers for children, and they will interview this child left and right, a black child, and the child will say, no, this is what happened. This did not happen in my home. But they're not going to take the child word for it because it's designed to take that black child out of the home. And then again, white people get to look like the savior and say, oh, the child was, in poverty, or that child was being neglected. Most of us today is in poverty, but it doesn't mean that you're not taking care of your children. When I mean poverty, you may not be able to provide the best clothes or anything for your children. You may be living check to check, but you still love your children and you're taking care of your children. So what she's saying is no. It says the subconscious beliefs related to race also influence the outcome. No, not also, it influences the outcome. Research shows Black families are more likely to be investigated by child protective services. Black children are also more likely to be removed from their homes and placed in foster care because Black people are always being watched for something negative. So yes, meanwhile you'll have some white parents that's on meth and their kids are still living in that home. There's several cases. I didn't even want to bring it up because I don't want to strike on my channel. Because truth these days is against the law. But you can have a meth parent, white parents on drugs. The child never have clothes on. Neighbors have reported it. Child welfare never go take those kids from that home. So I don't want to hear any other excuses that they're talking about why Black children are overrepresented in foster care. And I don't want to hear that Black people don't like to foster Black children or foster care, period, or adopt. They block us out of those things. And if you are and you happen to get past the red tape, they want to give you who they want. But if a white person asks for specifically a Black child to foster or adopt, they get their way with little or no pushback. So I'm going to go on to another article I want to share in regards to this. So, family, it's not that people are not out there fighting or recognizing that Black families are disproportionately targeted in regards to it, but it's like nothing's happening. They're still stealing, kidnapping our children, and this is why we need reparations. We need reparations because we need to be able to fight against this. They know who they can target like this. When you're taking my baby and you taking all of my children, and it took her 8 months to get her children. If she had money and she had a good attorney, and also she was white, it would not have taken her that long to get her babies back. That's why it's important for us to keep our nose clean. Out here, we're definitely in the middle of a war, a race war, and they're coming after our babies strong. And we have to stay out here and stay focused. And if you're out here and you're getting high all the time and drinking and partying, life is going on around you, and this right here, this is a big deal. They are literally kidnapping our children. And that's why, if you pay attention, a lot of young children don't even want babies. A lot of, you would think, these young kids, they're wild. A lot of young children are not, statistically, a lot of young children are not having babies. And when I say young children, I mean like in their 20s. They're not having, they're waiting because a lot of people are just not, and I want to say Black people are not having children because we go through so much as a community. We have to worry about if we have young sons being murdered by the cops, husbands, sons, brothers, if they're going to be murdered by the cops. Now they're murdering and harassing our children. Then we have to worry about our children going into the schools. If they have school police and truancy jumping on our children and they don't do that to anyone else, we have to worry about that. We have to worry about if we have a baby or if we go to the hospital, are they going to discriminate against us medically? Is our child going to be okay, be alive? It's so many things that we face. And it's very important, especially if you have family members and you know that either a family member is struggling financially to take care of that child. We have to get back to it takes a village, and step in before social services comes in, because once they come in, you heard what that woman says, once they come in, that's it. It's hard. They're not going to let the family come in unless the family have money to really fight child welfare. But if you see a family member that need help with those children, step in now and help those children. But I'm here to debunk that lie. It is a lie that Black families don't want to foster Black children or want to adopt Black children. They're still sitting there because of Black people. No, they're blocking us out. And, for the people in the back that like to say so many Black children are in foster care because Black people just don't take care of their children, that's also a big lie as well. We're targeted, and, they're causing more harm and trauma than what they so-called, quote unquote, are trying to help and save your child from. So I just want to come here with this brief, short broadcast about this and the adoption and foster care system. And just stay focused, family. And I do hope that you guys have a great week. This is Naturally Torah. Please come again. Please subscribe, share, and like. And thank you so much.